The Colorado Avalanche remain unbeaten in the preseason with a 4-1 win over the Dallas Stars and avenge that first round loss to them in the playoffs. Totally kidding, but we will, of course, talk about that on a new episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to a new episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Chris Maselli, and with me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. If you want to get in on the conversation, join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. Chat with Zach and I one-on-one. Get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. We will be discussing even more uniforms. This continues to be a segment for us. I don't want it to be, but it is. So we had a couple uniforms at the end of last week that were announced that we haven't been able to get to. So we'll share those as has been tradition. This is like the Masters. It's a tradition unlike any other. And we're just showing jerseys of other teams because the Avs have not released theirs yet, if it is even coming. So we'll talk about that. We have some X factors as we're getting closer to opening night puck drop. Things that need to and must happen for the Avalanche for this season to be successful. Where we're going to start is obviously the most recent preseason game. Avs had pretty much the whole week off after that split squad matchup with the Mammoth. They didn't play at all, and this was their first game since then. Score is what it is. You know, you beat Dallas 4-1, so you're still undefeated in the preseason, which means literally nothing. It's more about the guys who are out there. How did they play? You got some of your mainstays. Nathan MacKinnon saw his first action, and that was just like a 19-minute skate around for him. Like he if he was going 50%, I think that was a lot. Yeah. But you know, you got to see, like, this is what the preseason's for. This is nothing new. To see, you know, some guys who are trying to make this team. And I think after this one, I think you got some answers to some stuff with how they played. And after the game was over, some of the guys that the Avalanche sent down. So we'll you know, discuss this game and some things that we like, some things that we didn't like. But overall, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's preseason. I really do. I make the joke all the time that, you know, if you win every preseason game, it means everything. And if you lose every preseason game, it means absolutely nothing. But the reality is it really does mean absolutely nothing. It was really cool to get our first look at Brent Burns in an Avs uniform on the ice. That was wicked. I mean, pretty stoked for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wedgie came out and played well.
He played 21 minutes and 21 seconds. Brent Burns did.
Nice.
And here we are saying, like, oh, he's coming in, third pairing guy, only needs to play 13, 14 minutes a night. And, you know, 40 years old, he's still going to be out there a lot. He could be.
Yeah, he wants to be. So, yeah. I mean, he could certainly see some good time. We'll see how that changes in the regular season, though, too, because it's a lot easier to go out 21 minutes against potential AHL guys instead of being 21 minutes against, you know, high-end top talent NHL guys. I thought Wedgie played well, let in the one goal. I thought Trent Miner came in and did exactly what I expect him to do. He looked perfectly solid in that position. I really thought overall the game seemed to go well. 0 for 7 on the power play was a thing, and it's something that we'll have to keep an eye on because, again, preseason, and you're not letting your whole playbook out, right? This is not the time to show off everything that you maybe have changed or maybe you're going to be adjusting, and you don't have all your top guys on the power play unit. Right. I still would have really, really liked to just see one power play goal go in because that puts them 0 for the preseason still, right? Because I think they were 0 for 4 and 0 for 5 in the first two games. I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't think they did have one on the well, there's two. I can't remember, but let's talk about that for a minute. Like, because it's like, yes, it is a preseason. You had MacKinnon and MacKinnon as really your only guys who, you know, definitely MacKinnon. MacKinnon probably will show up on power play one, you know, from time. They might move guys in and out, but he's a mainstay. I'm not like concerned about the 0 for 7 based on the roster and your guys that you had in on the game. You got to feel like even at 0 for 7, it doesn't matter who you're putting. It didn't matter if it was all your AHL guys versus the Dallas starters. Don't you think if you give them like 7 shots at this, like they could at least net one? And like you're saying, like it would just feel better that you got like that monkey off your back of getting a power play goal. Because where have we come from? We come from a playoff that the last time we were taking the ice in a series, the power play was dreadful. And I can't compare it to that just based on who's out there. So it's just the look of it. Like I have just the stat sheet up from that game, and just that look of 0/7.
Yeah.
You cringe a little bit. Doesn't matter who's out there for me, so, but aside from that, it's like, okay, how did the power play look? Forget about the offer. How did it look in terms of, did it look any different? Like, did they have good looks on some of them? Yeah. Nathan MacKinnon passed up a wide open net on power play. Like, he's not going to do that. I don't know why he did that in this game. Like, fired on net. For whatever reason, I'm not going to question Nathan MacKinnon's preseason. He doesn't care probably, but regular season, I'm almost guaranteed he's going to fire that one on net. But just the movement and the passing and kind of the setup of the power play for me looked different and looked better. It looked like there was a lot more motion. Looked like because the Avalanche so many times last year just got into that pitch and catch between MacKinnon and Makar. Sometimes they bring it on to the other side, and it's MacKinnon either trying to create on his own and either firing a puck on net or hitting that cross ice pass to Mikko, who, if you didn't know, is no longer there. And it was just too one dimensional. Just knew what was coming. Changed a little bit when Martin Nashis came around. But I just feel like the dynamic of it, the setup of everything was a little bit different, which in my, like, that to me, like the 0 for 7 is what it is. And I don't care too much about it. I care too much of what things looked like on the power play. And you had 7 chances to look at it. And I thought it looked different. You had a little bit different wrinkles here and there, which is exactly what they needed.
It did look different for sure. I think it looked promising at points. I thought there was still a lot of passing instead of shots taken. Like you said, watching MacKinnon pass up what looked like an open net. But I did like, it was Olofsson out there with MacKinnon, I believe, right? And he had a couple of decent shots. I mean, I think there were definitely some things that I think looked better. And I really do wonder if it's not just like, okay, this is preseason. This isn't like, right now we're kind of practicing more this setup. We're practicing more what we're doing. It's going to look different come regular season. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, because the last thing I want to see is, there's more motion. Yeah, that it does look different. We're still just passing the puck back and forth and we're never taking a shot on net. And then it's like, okay, cool. Now you're doing the same thing in a slightly different way. That doesn't help me. So I agree. I'm trying not to read too much into it in preseason, but it does really just, because like you said, I feel like if you take 5 professional hockey players, AHL, but professional hockey players, and you put them against 4 NHL players, they should score at least one time with 7 chances.
Definitely. I think the one thing that I noticed more was an emphasis on getting the puck to the front of the net.
Yes.
And again, last year is what it is. Just kind of went over like what it looked like from last year. And even 3 the 3 of the 4 goals, I believe, were just right in the net front.
Yep.
But that kind of carried over into the power play. Like, you saw them, and why not? Who cares in the preseason? That's where you like focus on that stuff. If it gets intercepted, you go the other way, so what?
Yep.
And it kind of could carry over into the regular season, because you have to do that stuff. Even if you sacrifice trying to throw a puck on the net front, it keeps the defense honest. Yeah. And it lets them know, like, we're going to keep trying this, and it might open up things on the wings where you can take shots. But the Avs didn't do that enough last year. They didn't do that. No. Everything was just perimeter when it came to the power play, and they didn't try to force it in the net front a lot. It's going to help having Gabe Landeskog back for that stuff. X factors, foreshadowing for that. Hey, and MacKinnon is great at that stuff. And then you had the goal from Bardakov, which was a nice right in front of the net, nice move right in front of the net for a goal. Yep. And oh, by the way, it seems like he has really solidified his roster spot on this team. Again, coupled with the moves that they made following this game. You did have Ivan get sent down, although he played very well in this game. He had a really good pass to Gavin Brindley.
That assist really to Brindley behind the net, and popped right into the perfect spot. And like you're saying, play in front of the net. He put it right there. That is high danger, terrific pass. I loved seeing that. I'm not, as we kind of talked about, not overly surprised that Ivan went down and Bardakov's potentially getting the nod to start the season. That's what it's shaping up to be. I'm not opposed to that at all, but man, both Ivan and Bardakov made a good case for themselves. It's going to be an interesting battle, I think, throughout the entire season, whenever that spot is available.
It's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? It's not just like one guy just took the position away. It was like, multiple guys battling for it. So one guy wins it out. If he doesn't perform, okay, we're going to turn to the guy who we had to send down. Let's see what he can do. But you like what Bardakov brings to this. I mean, I know it's a fourth line job for him, but that is important. And that is what this team needs. And, he's got the size, he's got the skill. We'll see where this thing goes for him, but I thought he played very well. Gavin Brindley gets another goal. The future looks really good for him. So, the record is what it is. Who cares about the record? But there's not a lot of like bad when it comes to, oh, this guy is playing horrible in the preseason. Even like your defenders are playing very well. Jack MacKinnon is playing very well. Sean Barons is playing very well. Like, there's so many guys that are stepping up, and they're not going to make it just because there's some room for not a lot of these guys. Right. But you feel good. I can't think of like who's one guy that you're sitting here saying like, oh my God, he is completely fumbling this. I don't really think of any. No, you had Prishapov who only played like 2 minutes, and I don't know what's up with that in this last game. I haven't heard anything, but yeah.
No, I 100% agree. I feel like watching that game, there was nobody that I'm like, wow, what a boneheaded pass. What a ridiculous decision that you made there. Why are you doing this in this situation? I feel like everybody played very sound, very smart. Right. Everything looked good. And again, you don't want to take preseason as being like, oh, this is absolutely how everything's going to work out in the regular season. But given the guys that were on the ice, given the job that they had to do, they all did what they were supposed to do. And a 4-1 score, you're still like, your potential borderline bubble guys are playing against their bubble guys, which means some of those guys really are out there trying to make a name for themselves. Sure. And the fact that you handled it as well as you did, it really does. It makes me feel so good about what we can do and the depth of this roster. It really does kind of bolster that good feeling moving into the ceiling, or into the season, not the ceiling. They have a high ceiling for the season.
Exactly. I knew where you were going at. Let's talk about this upcoming season and some X factors, some things that, we're looking at as if to say like, hey, if the Avs are going to have a successful season, this is what needs to be done, whether it's team overall or individual players. So let's dive into that stuff. We'll do that next. Going to hear from Monarch Money, because most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, and whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That is where Monarch Money comes into play. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives, and if you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. It does all the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for half off of your first year. That is 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. Once again, that promo code is Locked On NHL. Go check them out today. So while we're feeling overall pretty good about how things have been going for the Avalanche in this preseason, save for 7 power play opportunities, one of which was double minor, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that always kind of like the double minors and the majors. Like if you don't get anything on those are the ones just twist the knife a little bit more. But hey, what it is what it is.
Right. It is what it is. We'll see how the regular season looks.
Right. So going into this regular season, things that we call them X factors, the things that go on the wall and stay on the wall of this is what we need to do this year. And again, whether it's overall team wise or individual player wise, throwing at me, and we'll kind of like list some things that we think are of just of the most importance for the Avs this year.
I feel like number one has got to be Dave Hakstol and that power play unit. I really do feel like special teams has to be a huge focus. And again, I do agree with you that I feel better after that last game about the look, but you would feel a lot better if you had 2, maybe
results.
3 goals. Yeah, you've got to have those results in it. I feel those results will come. Trust the process type of situation. But I do think that Hakstol is going to have to be a X factor in that. I mean, that's why you brought that guy in, right? You brought him in to revamp that, to make it work. So I think that's got to be one. And I think my other 2 are going to be Brent Burns and Gabe Landeskog. I think Burns has got to bring and will bring. He's going to bring a stability, kind of physicality. I mean, that guy, that's how he plays the game. But the stability, I think, is the biggest thing. That Iron Man streak he's on, he wants to maintain it. He wants to be out there and play. But personality-wise, too, having a guy like that on the ice, like he is a great morale booster, locker room guy. So I love that. So those are kind of my 2 main ones. And then I feel like Landy is sort of the obvious answer, but also one that you can't not choose because we've seen what Landeskog brings to this team. And so he is going to, it's not even a he has to, it's not a we like him to, he is going to elevate this team just by being on the ice for however many games he'll be able to play this season.
It's weird. It's almost like Burns and Landeskog have like the same impact on this team for like on the ice and in the locker room.
Yeah.
And one is the captain, which, that holds a lot of weight being the captain, and he's one of the best in the league at that. And Burns just, when a guy's been in the league for as long as he has, you listen to him.
Yep.
You listen to him, but he keeps things light, so where Landeskog can kind of be that captain role and everything that comes with that. Burns is kind of a captain in a lesser role. Just, hey, let's, you got a lot of guys can learn from him. And, the younger guys on the team can learn from him, keeps the locker room light. So it's a good dynamic, kind of all around of what this team is comprised of. And you have the guys like Nathan MacKinnon who are business. You know what I mean? So it's a good dynamic between all these different ways to go about attacking a season. And when you need guys to drop the hammer, here's Nathan MacKinnon. Guys, no more messing around. And that's always going to be Gabe Landeskog being the captain. And, you have guys like not only Brent Burns, but like Scott Wedgwood can do the same thing in a locker room. So totally agree with you. And then to go back on the power play thing, it's results. It's how many, that's a results driven category of the sport.
100%.
But it goes, if things are not going well, and you're going to have ups and downs during the season of special teams, that's going to happen. But when things are not going well, what is causing that? Are you still getting shots on goal? What for each power play, how many shots are you getting on goal? And you're just having bad puck luck of just not being able to get a puck in the net, but you're still getting shots. Okay. You can live with that stuff. But if you're struggling to get zone entries, if you're struggling to keep the puck into the zone, if you're not getting shots on net, then it's just okay, what is the problem here? And then you have to give Dave Hakstol, okay, you need to correct this. This is what you were hired for. Can he make the adjustments to when the power play is struggling and not just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again? And that has just been my head wants to explode when the Avs do that on the power play, because it's almost like they're just they have the mentality of like, no, our talent will win out, and the law of averages will flip back in our favor eventually. Well, when that happens, you might have lost 5 games in a row, and it could be directly related to the power play. So that is huge. The power play. You have the talent on this team to be. You should be easily in the top 10. Should be one of the best. You should be a top 5 power play team in the league with what you have on your number one line. So
absolutely.
Definitely power play. I agree with you with the Landeskog stuff. The depth obviously is huge. That's big for every team. We're set. Your top 6 is set. Really, your top 9 looks really good right now, even without Logan O'Connor. And when he comes back, that just adds to the fold.
So much better.
But to add an individual player here, I think Jack Drury is going to be a big X factor for this team this year.
Great choice. Yep.
What do you think?
I think absolutely he can be, because I mean, we're talking about him being like the third line center guy and really making the name for himself. And he's shown enough flashes. He's shown enough for that he really can make that name for himself. I'm actually really pumped to watch him. He was a name I kind of considered being one of the X factors. But like I said, Landeskog was the obvious choice that I couldn't pass up, because I love Gabe Landeskog. But Jack Drury, that really should be, if he can solidify that third line center and Brock Nelson does what we expect him to do in the second line center, all of a sudden now you've got 3 out of 4 lines solid at that center position, which has been we have a top line center and a hodgepodge of down the middle after that.
Right.
If Drury can solidify that, my goodness, like, you're feeling great.
It's a big step up for him, because it's, you got to be more consistent. Whenever you move up a line, there's more expected out of you. Yeah. So we've liked what we've seen in what he's done, on a fourth line. It's not a guarantee just because you move up to a line above you that all of that will carry over. I have faith that he can do that. He seems like a scrappy guy, and he will win battles. Like, he's not a guy that just backs down, and he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. And you just feel like he's a guy that, he's been given an opportunity, and I feel like he's going to make the most of it. So it's a big ask, no matter when you're moving up a line. And I don't know if the Avs this was the original plan, but I think this is what is now presented with them. And I feel like they're going to run with it and make the best of it. And I think he's a good guy to give this a go. I really think he is. I think he
seems like a rise to the challenge kind of guy.
Right.
And I think right now too, because especially with Logan O'Connor coming back, you have the option to move Colton to center potentially as well on that third line and drop Drury down to the fourth line, which that means, hey, we've bumped you up to the third line. You have to earn that spot. Yeah. And because look, we have the spots, or we have the people to move into that position if you aren't taking care of everything the way we need you to. But I really do think that he will respond to that by saying, I'm not movable. This is my spot. I've earned it, and you will keep me here. And I think he's capable of doing it from what I've seen so far. So I can agree with that definitely being an X factor.
And I think when Logan O'Connor comes back, now you get into like the matchup game to game. Yep. And this is throwing the Bednar blender around, because hey, if you need to move Ross Colton to the center position, you can do that and move Drury down. If you want to keep that where it is, Logan O'Connor can go to the fourth line if you need him to go to the fourth. Like you can start moving these guys around within your bottom 6 based on the matchup of the other team. And it's not great. It's great. It's great to have that. It's not just like, no, these are the only, like, we can't ask these guys to do more than what the positions that they're in. No, they can fluctuate game to game now. And it seems like they're all on board to do that. Yeah. So Avs are in a good position. They're in a good position. That's obviously when Logan O'Connor comes back in a month and a half or so, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we've also heard Sam Girard could be back this week, actually. Maybe at the next practice, he could be back. So now you just got to get him healthy, and then Mackenzie Blackwood, and there's no more injuries for the season. It's a great thing.
Yep.
No injuries at all.
Knock on that wood.
All right, let's wrap this thing up like we have been doing with more jerseys that are not the Colorado Avalanche. We'll do that next. All right, let's hear from FanDuel, because the NFL season is here and FanDuel has an offer that you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. If that $5 bet wins, you pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Can we be confident in this week or tonight, actually, for listening to this on Monday, with the Broncos over the Bengals? They have to take advantage of Burrow not being there. Is this a definite?
It is. It
You
should.
don't want to say
oh
it,
my
so.
gosh, I can't. I don't think I can say it out loud, because here's the other thing that bothers me, just real quick on this.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw this early in the season.
Yeah.
This feels like a must-win game, and I hate that because it's week 4.
Well, and I don't. It's so funny with like the NFL. Like, I don't go ahead to next week, but watching games on Sunday, Fox was promoting their games next week.
Yep.
You know who the Broncos play next week?
Oh, I can't think of it.
Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, so this is
in Philadelphia.
Yep,
this is a must win.
Yep.
So what do you? Yeah, good.
I don't know if you place that bet on them to win, unless you're trying to will it into the universe that they do. So let's do that. Let's do that.
Visit FanDuel.com right now to download the FanDuel app and get started today. Couple more jerseys here, Zach. And I had just, maybe unreasonably so, just convinced myself on this Fan Fest day that the Avalanche had on Saturday, which seems like it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I was just convinced they were going to announce their new jerseys then. But I think I maybe came around to like, maybe they're not, because a lot of teams are the day before kind of throwing out like a teaser tweet. Yep. And the Avs didn't do that on Friday. So no. I kind of like, wow, okay, well, maybe we're not getting it, but I still held out hope, but we didn't. So we're still waiting. I don't know what for. And with each passing day, are we going to get anything? Are we just, someone asked, like, have we been duped with this thing? And I don't want to say we've been duped, because it hasn't been the team that has really said this is coming. It's just been leaks. It's just been, reporters saying, which are reputable a lot of times. Well, and I don't know where we are.
Even saying like he got a peek at it, like a preview of the jersey and how everybody was going to absolutely love it. And then like it's been crickets from him since on that front. So this particular statement is for my very good friend Tommy. The jerseys are coming. They are coming. Okay. They will be here. They are coming.
Has the team ever announced it during the season?
Not
like
cool.
I know sometimes teams will do it for like the Winter Classic and stuff like that, but those are just like one-off jerseys. But for a jersey for a full season, don't those usually get announced like now?
Okay, second coolest jersey reveal.
Yes, we know.
They just come out on division rivalry night in New Thirds. Not a peep. They don't say a word about it beforehand. And then they just show up. And as they hit the ice for practice, then all of a sudden, like in the store, they roll them out into the stadium for sales and everything too. That's what they're doing. That's my new thought.
I mean, that would be awesome. Promotional wise, that'd be a nightmare.
Oh, it'd be absolutely horrible every other way, except how cool it would be to be like, oh, I was there and they rolled them out. Look how cool.
So, I'm shocked we're still doing this segment, but people are finding it fun. So we keep doing it. And we got 2 of them. We got 2 more last week, one within the division, one within the conference. So we'll probably be seeing this first one for sure. I'll throw it up here on YouTube. And that is the new old Minnesota Wild jerseys from like the turn of the century. I like it. Actually, both of these jerseys. The other one's the Sharks. We'll show that one in a second. both are from like kind of like the same era when jerseys were just like a little bit more loud, especially the Sharks one. But I like this era of jerseys, so I'm okay with this. I love the number font, by the way. The number font is phenomenal.
It looks
I don't mind the
good.
gold stripe. People are kind of put off by the gold stripe. I don't hate this. I can't just say I hate it just because it's a Minnesota Wild. I think
I
this is
want to so bad because it's the Minnesota Wild. I just want to sit here and tear this thing to shreds and absolutely despise it. But they put together a good uniform, and I will begrudgingly admit that. Ugh,
it's a good color scheme.
it
It
is.
is. It is a good color scheme. I still
Dumb
don't
Christmas
really
trees.
love the logo all that much. But as far as like the setup of this, I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna hate it on the ice because we'll be playing against it
Right.
when I see it, and so it's
Right.
gonna be horrible at that point. And yeah, again, still with the Christmas trees, and I just want to rip it apart. But they did a good job.
They did.
Their team put together a solid sweater. I will give them credit.
And the other one is, we go from one of the just oddest and maybe worst logos in the sport
Yeah.
to which is widely regarded as one of the best logos in the sport, and that's the San Jose
So
Sharks
good.
one. And again, this one is from the late 90s. And I posted about this on Twitter about how I always thought this was a ripoff of the Denver Broncos when the Broncos switched to it's not their new logo from the classic blue and orange to what they went to in the late 90s with the kind of like the point thing that comes up to the collar and goes underneath the armpits. And then the Sharks came out with this. I always accuse them of plagiarism. And mainly because I liked it and I didn't want to like it, but they went back to this. It's like a different look. You don't get this would not be a brand new jersey from people like that. If they were coming out with a new jersey, you wouldn't get this anymore.
Not a
because
chance.
this is just it's too much. There's too much going on. So I like that teams are kind of going back to that era when jerseys were a little bit louder. And I'm all for this. I like this one a lot.
The gray looks so good on it. The stripes look good. That logo the logo somehow feels like it pops even better on this particular iteration of the jersey. And I've always been a fan of this Sharks logo. So this is a winning jersey for me right here. Of the two for today, this one far and away outshines Minnesota's. Again, I can't really bash Minnesota's too much, but this one is so much better. And that's much more of a testament to how much I like this one versus how bad the other one is not.
Yeah. We've got a lot of teams coming out with jerseys, and I don't think there's any that I just absolutely despise. I think most of them have done. They've gone from that's nice, like I can stand that, to great. I don't think there's anywhere I'm like that is hideous, and what were they even thinking?
I don't like Carolinas. Otherwise, everything's
that's
there.
Good. I like the Carolina one.
I don't. It just doesn't do it for me. But like you said, it's not terrible. Yeah. It's tolerable. It just doesn't look good. Everything else, I think, has been good to great.
Right.
Yep.
Good job. Good job, NHL. So
well done. You guys put something good together.
Yeah,
now get that Avalanche jersey out here.
This is crazy. This is ridiculous. Season is around the corner, I've been told. So let's fire this thing up. So,
hockey is right around the corner. We need a jersey.
I know. That's when I get excited when the Avalanche release their Nordiques uniforms. Hockey's right around the corner. So
that's when the season starts. Yep,
that's when it's official. Maybe we'll be talking about that tomorrow. Maybe they will announce it on Monday when the Broncos play. No connection there, other than that they're in the same state. I'm just trying to conjure up something for a reason why they would announce it. So
I think their advertising team, their marketing team is listening to every one of these episodes and just saying, how long do you think we can make them talk about this? And that might be why. So
I'm going to throw it out there. If you want to have the reveal on this show,
do it.
Feel free.
Reach out. Our socials are below. We are more than happy to.
Right.
And you know what? We'll just pop the image up.
Right.
No crazy video that doesn't barely show it. No, front and center. It will look wonderful.
Yeah.
We're happy to announce it for you.
I mean, if that's what you've been waiting for, I thought that was just known that we would gladly announce it on this show, but that's up to you. That's up to you. So, All right. Maybe that'll happen tomorrow. Who knows?
see.
Doubtful, but we'll see. So tune in tomorrow. With anything going on in Avalanche world, we'll be talking about it on that episode. But for this episode, thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow, where, of course, you will have made it through another 24 hours where Sidney Crosby's that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.